Hey guys, I am here with Boston Taylor today to do your weekly market update. So Boston, I met at an open house and we figured out that we have several mutual friends in the Valley. So I'm teaming up with Boston to be able to refer him to you as a credible lender. This guy's awesome, so I'm gonna give you a minute. Will you introduce yourself, Boston?
Yeah, so my name's Boston Taylor, like Nicole said. I work for Security National Mortgage. I've been doing it for about a year now, but I mean, I'm gonna be in it for the long haul, and so I love Nicole and what she does, what she stands for, and her work ethic, and so I'm excited to work with you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna team up. So if you go to my website, under mortgages, you'll see Boston's name and all his contact information. I'll also tag it in this post. So let's get to it. Boston, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, millennials. Now, I know I don't look old enough, but I do have a 30-year-old. So speak to first-time home buyers.
Okay. So first-time home buyers are, I would say, our niche, or whatever that word is.
Your specialty.
So I wanted to write a couple notes. So I guess first of all, why should you buy a home for a first-time home buyer? I feel like this is a really obvious answer, but it really helps to kind of understand why you should buy a home. First of all, it's the American dream. There's a million success stories of, like whether it's Bill Gates, the owner of Nike, all of their success started with home ownership. And so if they wouldn't have owned those homes, I'm sure they probably would have gotten there in a different way, but those people are definitely the minority who do not use the highway of home ownership and real estate to become successful people. And so looking at their stories and reading all these books of successful people, you'll see that they started with buying a home and then they used the equity in their home to be able to do things like invest or hire investors, hire a team, hire or buy, invest in other things. So that really is the means to...
It like builds generational wealth too.
Exactly.
Yeah, you teach your children that the way to be financially free is through real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that I've been learning is how to become financially free is becoming financially literate. And so one of those things that I've learned is in order to become financially free, you need to own assets. So owning a home in general doesn't mean that it's going to be an asset. A home could be a liability to you. And so it's all dependent on how you set yourself up for success, which is our niche. Is we'll implement your goals, your aspirations, your unique situations, and all the bad stuff, and we'll put it in a loan program and a loan term that we think is good for you, that won't be beneficial to you just in short term, but in a long-term investment perspective.
Okay, so that's the one thing that I'm most impressed by, because 2 years ago, my husband and I bought a home in Orem. I knew very little, and I just trusted that my attorney husband was going to read through the contracts and know what to do. But if someone would have given us a plan or a structure, or this is how your options for building wealth, and this is your options for building, or buying a home, I just think I would have made such a better decision. I mean, there's just so many factors that go into it that you don't think about. Am I going to keep this home for long term? Is it going to become a VRBO? All that kind of stuff. I had no clue. So I love that your company will do a complimentary consultation and really get to the nitty-gritty of what your client's personal goals are. Yeah, that's so important.
And the good thing about Nicole too is because she went through that experience a couple years ago, she's going to understand you first-time home buyers, how to best help you. She's going to know how to hold your hand, whereas a more experienced realtor, or who knows, could just be like, yeah, hurry, do this, do this, do this. She'll coach you, and she's an ignorance killer, is what I say. Or she'll be a great mentor for you, and be able to teach you what the terms are, or what people are saying, how to do some things. And so that's a great advantage of using Nicole, is that she has that transparency where she can help you, home buyers who don't necessarily know the ins and outs of real estate.
Yeah, and that's a life skill. Like coming from a teaching background into real estate, I realized that it really knowledge is key. That you make so much better decisions by just having a little bit of knowledge. Think if you have, a wealth of knowledge, how much better your life will be. So love that concept. Okay, so right now I have 2 kids that potentially could buy homes right now. What would you say to them? Why is it a good time to buy right now?
So there's a Japanese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, and the second best time is right now. And I think that carries into real estate as well. So if you look up the Nora.com website, or I think it's Nora.org, I'm not sure, but it'll show you those statistics from if you were to buy a home 30 years ago. So I'll take an example of my dad. His first home was a duplex 30 years ago. And he's like, if I would have kept that duplex 30 years ago, I would have made so much more money selling it right now. But also, when he was going to buy a duplex, he said that it seemed like the market was at its peak and that it was really expensive. But if you look at real estate investing in a long-term perspective, the best time to buy is right now because homes are not going to get cheaper in the long term. They just will go up.
Yeah, we know the research is showing that even Utah population is increasing at exponential growth like every year. So it really is like the sooner you can get into it. And you don't want to make a decision based on fear. That's like my worst. Like when I see people trying to sell something and they're like, if you don't get this, you're going to die. And you're like, no, I'm not. So fear-based decisions are not for me. I think the best time to buy is when you're ready, when you have the financing or the coaching and know what you're getting into. It's one of the biggest things you'll do in your entire life. And so you want to do it right so that once you are ready to flip the house or move on, or like your dad, keep the condo as a rental and buy something bigger as he grew his family. Just making those good decisions is always super important. Okay.
And then really quick,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a couple mortgage myth busting things. So some mortgage myth busters is what we'll call it. So a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I've got to put 20% down to buy a home. Not true. I have to have perfect credit to buy a home. Not true. I need this. I need to make $1 million a year. Not true. So there's so many programs, and I wrote it on my notes, which I could just read off for years, but there's programs like USDA, Utah Housing, the Chenoa Fund, that are all zero money down programs where you can potentially buy a home for free. We also have in-house credit help, where what that means is, so when I went to go start buying homes, my credit score needed to get bumped up a little bit, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there's no shame in having low credit, like everyone's.
And when you're first getting in, you become an adult and you're trying to build that credit, it's gonna take a minute to get where you want it.
Yeah, so your credit score is a huge number of that is measured by your credit history. I think it's 30% or 20%, which is really big. So when we did a credit poll, what we do is we send it to our friends at Certified Credit. His name's Paul. I don't know if I can say that on here, but
Sure. Yeah.
he told me everything I need to do. He went A, B, C. Here's your to-do list of what you need to do in order to get your credit score boosted. Mine went up 20 points in 2 days.
Wow.
So I also don't know if I should be saying this, but they'll tell you like, hey, put credit in this person's name, or pay off this
No, I
debt,
think
pay off
that's
this credit
smart.
card.
Yeah, because then he can customize it to everyone's individual circumstances. Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh gosh, you're gonna pull my credit, is that gonna hurt your score? No, I think it's gonna benefit you because you're gonna know exactly what you need to do in order to improve your credit, short term and long term.
So I think that's the biggest hesitancy of, especially someone in college, maybe they're not quite thinking about buying a home yet, but if you can start with a credit builder program before, a couple years before you're ready to buy a home, don't you think that just helps get you in a position where, number one, you need to know the source, so where to find that information, that's a big one. and just how much time do I need to take. So if you fit in that category where you're a first-time homebuyer, maybe you're still in college, go meet with someone that can give you some guidance. Meet with Boston, he can do a personalized plan, and then give you the references too of who to go to help you pivot. And then you have an amazing team member that I have not yet met, but I will. So I'm gonna have you explain too who you work with, because you guys, she's the bomb.
So what's unique about me, a lot of people will perceive me as, oh, you're a young kid who doesn't have a lot of experience, which is true. But I manage a team called the Lone Rangers Mortgage Team, where my partner Mindy, so she's my aunt, she's top 1% in America loan originator. So she's very highly decorated, top producer of our company. And she's also like the #1 woman loan officer in Utah, which is huge. So go woman power is the real thing.
Support the women in the industry, right?
They're better than the men. For sure.
So that's great. So your dynamic on your team is just as you train and as you go through this process of just doing like the transactional part of it, because you know the numbers and know the information, then you just connect the people, the right people, the right places. Love that. Who doesn't want a Boston in their life, right?
It's true.
Okay, so we're gonna do a rapid fire. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, these are like true colors revealed on the fly. Here we go. Favorite leadership book?
So my favorite leadership book, I don't know if it's technically leadership, but it's Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is probably really cliche, like, well, you haven't read many books, but honestly, it's like the best book I've ever read, and it's a big reason why I wanted to get into this industry of real estate.
I love that. Do you know, I learned the Monopoly theme from him. He said, if you want to learn about life or real estate, how to make money, play Monopoly. Buy 4 houses and 2 hotels, right? He's so awesome. Okay, favorite movie line that you quote?
So anyone watching this knows I quote a lot of movie lines, but my top 2 are Napoleon Dynamite quotes and Nacho Libre quotes. Could I say one right now that's like my go-to? Probably not, but those 2 movies I just quote.
Oh, eat your food, Tina,
you fat lard.
Okay, classic. Okay, favorite restaurant in like this Utah Valley, Wasatch Front area?
So it's in Salt Lake. It's called Walters. So it's an Italian restaurant, which I just barely tried. We go every Friday. It's so good.
You go every Friday?
Every Friday.
That's awesome.
So when the Warriors come here to play the Utah Jazz, they'll rent out the whole place for like a day or 2, and they'll just eat there.
Oh, it's
so
indoors?
So it's Walter will come down and sit with you. He's the owner, and he'll like talk to you. He's full-blown Italian, and it's as authentic as it gets.
That's so cool.
It's super good.
Okay, so 3 words that describe you.
I would say number 1 is driven. Number 2, hardworking, and 3, probably just myself. Like whether that's a good or a bad thing, I'm just gonna be myself.
Likeable, authentic. That's
authentic.
Yes,
there we go.
That's the word. Okay, favorite summertime activity. And I have to say, if you want, if you like extreme sports or crazy entertainment, go to Boston's Instagram page. Love it. Love.
Favorite summertime activity, it's got to be boating. So Lake Powell, anyone who's been there, it's the best place in the world.
Yeah. You want to see some good skiing footage? Okay. Last one. I love this one because I think that all of us have mentors and people that we're not here alone, right? We've built our lives based on the people that we admire. So if you could meet anybody, living or dead, not like you're gonna dig up the dirt, but if you grave robbing, if you could meet someone from the past or present, who would you want to meet?
So this question is good. I would choose Kobe Bryant because I love his mindset. So everyone talks about like in order to be successful or be a great real estate investor, you gotta have a number 1 mindset. And everyone knows Kobe, right, as the Mamba mentality. So
That's really good.
I would pick his.
And his mantra is just short of Mamba. When you say the word Mamba, who do you think of? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go for
He's the man.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Okay, well, awesome. Thank you, Boston.
Thank you.
I'm going to tag him. I'll put all the information in this post, so appreciate him being here. If you need resources, service industry people, please call me. I have a list of everyone from home cleaners, painters, contractors. So we're just here to help you get the information that you need. Or maybe you don't know that you need. Here it is. Okay, thanks guys.
Okay, thank you.